The PS3 has a lot of great games, which is why I've decided to list my top 5 games on this system. Keep in mind that this is just a subjective ranking as it's based on my preference of games and everyone has different tastes. The games are also in no specific order as it's just a list of my favorite PS3 games. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The Force Unleashed 1 is still a brilliant game and it holds up quite well today. The story was very interesting as it follows Darth Vader's secret apprentice that could either turn to the light side or stay with the dark side. They developed him decently well and his overall arc was quite well done. I also love how overpowered they made you feel in this game, and we never have really seen another Star Wars game recently where we could do the ridiculous things that Starkiller could do. The DLCs were also quite fun as they made us play as a Sith Stalker that ruined the rebellion. It was a nice change of pace for Star Wars and it's probably something they wouldn't do today. I really hope we get a Star Wars game in the future where we can play as a Sith and be this overpowered. Just imagine how good it would look and feel on the current hardware we have. This game was also quite special to me as it was the game that introduced me to the Star Wars franchise as a whole. Without it, I probably would have never explored the wonderful galaxy of Star Wars. So yeah, that's why this is one of my favorite PS3 games. And if you have not played it yet, you should definitely give it a try, especially since it has aged well. The Cybertron games are truly the best Transformer games I have ever played. It was nice to explore how it was on Cybertron instead of getting a game on Earth, as it felt like a breath of fresh air with all the Transformer movie games that were coming out. The stories of both games were interesting to follow, especially since you were seeing how Cybertron was declining due to the warfare between the Autobots and the Decepticons. The gameplay was fun as well, especially since you had so many characters that you could use and they all had their own unique guns and powers. It brought a lot of replay value to this game, and it also allowed you to have tons of fun with your friends due to the co-op gameplay along with the diverse amount of characters you could select. It also holds up quite well today, and if you play it again today, everything still feels decent, like the gunplay and the driving of the vehicles. The graphics have aged slightly, but at the end of the day, graphics are not really that important. I hope we get some kind of Transformer game in the future that's similar to these games cause they were so good and they have tons of potential. Even if you are not a Transformers fan, I bet you will still be able to enjoy this game. Assassin's Creed 1 was my first game on the PlayStation 3 and I will always remember it fondly. It's still one of the best Assassin's Creed games, especially in terms of its atmosphere. Each city was very unique, like how Acre had some destroyed structures that resembled some Saracen buildings due to it being conquered by the Crusaders. The color palette and the music of the city makes you feel very unwelcome, while it feels like the exact opposite in the other cities. It was so interesting when you were learning about your targets through investigations, while traversing the beautiful cities and eventually assassinating them. The stealth and combat still hold up quite well today, even though there are some ridiculous moments like the guards not checking the obvious places that you are hiding in, and combat can be quite easy at times. Also, the missions where you had to save the citizens got really old quite fast due to them uttering the same dialogue over and over again. At least you had some decent rewards from it, but there was just too many of them. But despite these problems, this game has a well-written story that makes you think about the conflict between the Templar and Assassins while giving us well-developed characters along with decent gameplay. It's a great game and I will never stop coming back to it. God of War 3 has the perfect elements of what a great God of War game should be. It has excellent combat with a nice variety of weapons while having the best boss fights in the series. I still can't believe how they managed to pull off so many major god boss fights so well. Kronos' boss fight was definitely the most memorable one to me due to its massive scale, and that is still impressive till this day. The story was concluded well and I feel like they wrapped up the Greek saga quite well. It was such a great adventure and it always feels great to replay this game due to its amazing combat and how amazing it is really in general. Finally, we have the Ezio games that were all great sequels to one another. It built on the foundations of AC1 quite well and provided us with a really decent experience. Combat was improved from AC1, where in Brotherhood you could perform satisfying kill streaks and the stealth system was expanded upon as well. But the thing that really shines well in this trilogy of games is how they expand so well on what was established in AC1 while providing some interesting and new additions to the story. This was back in the era where the modern day and the continuity of the series was consistent until it completely derailed after Assassin's Creed 3. It was so fun decoding the lore and figuring out hidden meanings that they scattered throughout the Animus. I will never forget those wonderful games. So yeah, those are my favorite PS3 games and now I would like to hear yours in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and with that being said, this has been 2367 Ruben signing out.